Another Mids Watch. Hey guys, grab a sip of that coffee. Take a seat. Enjoy yourself. Relax. And we're going to bring up something fun. This one I actually really like. Is it good or bad that I'm becoming more like her dad? This hits on so many things that I'm just enjoying it. Plus the fact that it's not... So the guy who did this post is a guy called Cholomite. Now, if you don't know, he and I were moderators at about the same time. So I never met him until after his journey was done. But since it's been done, it was just amazing to watch. Like, this is my favorite part. And this is when I can tell when a guy's really red-pilled. Because they don't have problems like guys have problems. They don't have like, well, no girl will sleep with me, or why is my wife not interested in me? And like all of those, why am I missing something and why am I miserable stories? It's more of like a curiosity about certain dynamics at play. And they're so much more fun. And I don't make videos about this stuff in general. I'll never make a red-pilled coffee on it or a relationship breakdown because most guys aren't there yet. This is like fourth year university kind of red pill stuff. So I hope you enjoy it. If you're one of those guys that's in a situation, a dead bedroom, maybe just a lackluster love life, maybe your girl has had a baby and she's blaming it on being postpartum, but in reality she just doesn't want to smash, all that stuff. Here's letting you know what success looks like on the other side. Via Cholomite and Jack 10. It's going to be one of those funny things. So his post, it's easy enough. My girlfriend and I... Oh, that's right. It's something else I forgot to mention. So a lot of the married red pill, it's not pro-marriage. Married red pill is never about how to get married and have a great relationship. That's the trad thing. Married red pill is for guys who already are married and don't like being divorced. They don't like losing access to their kids. It's not pro-marriage, it's anti-divorce rape is what they used to call it. Cholomites like me in the sense that they wanted to see, remember the Ironwood question, I've talked about it before, how to structure a relationship for maximum happiness for you and those around you. And it turns out common law marriage or like cohabitation, it's a pretty good model so far. Like, it has all the benefits of a marriage, none of the drawbacks of a marriage. I mean, it's not perfect. There's still going to be drawbacks to it. Obviously, if you have kids, a lot of the rules get thrown out of the window, but you can only change what you can change. It's funny too, because every time you bring this stuff up, there's going to be mother hens lose their goddamn minds. A mother hen is a pickup term. It's something that the girls, if you're in a group of girls, it's the one girl who considers herself the gatekeeper for sex. If she doesn't like you, she'll like block off her wall of friends. You know the deal. And there was like a whole structure of game that was basically designed on how to disarm them from ruining your night and the night of whoever you wanted to smash. But yeah, it's weird. It's always I don't want to say always, but it's like the least attractive girl out of the group. And that was kind of how she maintains her status, is by shutting down everybody else's natural skills of attractiveness. And they always bring up the same stuff. I don't want any, bastard kids. And you're like, dude, it's not the 1860s anymore. Piss off. Or it's always girls that treat marriage as if it's like cash and prizes. Like, there literally is women who still think of it. I want an actual marriage from the state because I don't trust that you and I are going to be together forever. So when I get with you, I want to make sure I get paid for my trouble. And you're just like, Jesus, damn sociopaths. And it's funny because these tend to be good girls. You guys remember from my practical female psychology series, I talk about good girls, adventuresses, and materialistas. And everybody's like, oh, materialistas are gold diggers. Adventuresses are Instagram whores and thoughts. But the good girl, that's what I want. And I'm like, not necessarily, man. Because these mother hens are good girls. Tradcon chicks are good girls. A good girl is a girl who loves the rules in the same way that a materialista loves stuff, and adventuresses love validation. So I don't know about you, but a girl who likes the rules more than me is never going to be a big thing. At least a purse, like, even girls who love purses and bling and all that sort of stuff, they're still going to need a guy to love. Adventuresses like to go on adventures with people. Good girls need the guy around as like as a status ornament, and I'm just not a fan of it. So back to the whole thing. Is it good or bad that I'm becoming like her dad? My girlfriend and I have been together for 10 years. For the past 3 or 4, we've been spending more and more time with her dad and stepmom. Because we move close to where they live. Her family's great, and we get along well. Her dad isn't a total beast, but he's pretty cool. Plays in a band, puts himself first, doesn't give too many fucks. He fails the occasional shit test, but who doesn't? He and I hang out a lot while my girlfriend and her stepmom go and do their thing. Her family has been buying me these goofy joke shirts lately. They think they're hilarious. Now I only wear them around her family to make them happy. So a couple of weeks ago, I go over and the three of us were wearing me and the dad were wearing the exact same thing and basically look just like each other. It was funny and no one cared, but the resemblance was striking and I definitely noticed. He's in rough shape from a lot of beer drinking, so I guess I'm a lot younger, more fit version of him. But anyway, I always heard that girls want to bang their dads, but it never really knew if it was true. Like, I didn't know them well for the first 5 or 6 years we were together, so it never clicked. They also say that all guys want to bang their moms, but if my girlfriend was anything like my mom, I would puke all over her tits. What a wonderful catchphrase. Has anybody else noticed this? Do you guys think it's a good thing or a bad thing? Is it something I should play up or play down? I know it's weird and a stupid question, but I'm sure there's something to it. I'm just interested in what you guys think. So Jack, and again, in a non-stereotypical brevity form of post, let's look. The basic transaction is attention for sex. Men trade attention for sex. Women trade sex for attention. Every type of male-female interaction follows this. Little boys actually tease the girls they like the most. High school boys tolerate a shitty rom-com movie to get a hand job in the back seat. College boys put in the time to throw keggers so cute sorority girls come by. It's pretty straightforward. Although it's not intuitive for a lot of men. We get worked up a lot more about sex than attention. When a schoolgirl blows half the football team, we sigh and try to fix what must be low self-esteem. When a high school boy spends all his time with the girls who only like him as a friend, we just tell him it's okay, he's just marriage material, and those girls are just not ready yet. So here's the thing. A woman's dad is the only man in her life who gives her attention for something else besides sex. He puts that part in bold because I think it's important, and I think if you take nothing else from this episode, it's that singular statement. A woman's dad is the only male in her life who gives her attention for something else besides sex. You know why daddy issues are a thing? Daddy issues are a thing is because dad didn't give her attention. He either didn't care, he wasn't in the picture, or mom weaponized dad so much that the daughter had a skewed idea of what attention meant. But yeah, that's why the father thing is so important, because it teaches a girl how to trade like the validation sex dichotomy. It kind of gives her a healthy non-sexual outlet to it, so she's not just sleeping with anybody who shows her the time of day. If you want to talk about the practical female psychology side of things, which is on Sundays or it's on the Sidebar series, go check it out. It's the difference between low self-esteem and high self-esteem. Like every girl has it to some extent, but in this case it's like more of a more true than not true, I guess is the best way to put it. So continuing on with Jack's thing, so let's say she's a hard ass financially. When she saves money, he's happy. When he buys stupid shit, she's disappointed. She wants dad's passive attention or positive attention. She better learn how to be frugal or to have a good job. or say she's a joker. It's all about the dad jokes. He makes a corny jokes, she laughs, he's happy. He makes a corny joke, she calls him corny, he stops joking with her. She learns that if somebody is trying to be funny, politely laughing is better than saying, stop trying to be funny. So she will seek these non-sexual behaviors in their romantic relationship. She got used to doing X for daddy's attention. She'll feel most certainly comfortable with guys who also like X. Now, I didn't physically resemble my wife's dad at all, but we had some bizarrely similar traits. A lot of the same idiosyncrasies, pet peeves, that sort of thing. That was why my wife wanted to have sex with me. But outside of sex, outside of the attention for sex dynamic, what's happening? You don't have to wear the corny t-shirts. But if you grumped out and said, those t-shirts are so dumb, she would probably be conflicted. She's used to her dad reacting with these positive attention from those goofy t-shirts, and it's unfamiliar to be with a man who reacts with negative attention. So just realize it's a very much non-sexual, and if anything, it just means your wife has learned there is sometimes more a woman can do to get a man's positive attention than offer her vagina. This is why dating a woman who didn't have any sort of father figure in her youth is almost always some cock carousel riding train wreck. Conversely, this is also why patriarchal religions screw up girls even worse. Since those girls all have a dad that said, never offer your vagina for attention or you're going to disappoint dad and go to hell, which is a great way to raise a sexually repressed woman with countless anxiety disorders. Not gonna lie, there's a fair bit of stuff to unpack from that one. The daddy issue thing is important, and it's not often I just say daddy issue and leave it at that, but there's some wisdom to it. It's like really formative experiences. Now, in the same way, if a guy is only raised around his mom, and his mom sticks to her flawed parenting strategies, which is usually to attack somebody's identity, that's how girls fight, it's always about reputation. They do it during a kid's formative years, and the problem with that is when kids are young, they are helpless. Instinctively, they know they're helpless. And so if mom decides that she thinks he's a bad boy and she's not going to help him anymore, he pictures himself in a limbic brain fashion getting eaten by lichens and tigers, so he does what he has to do to keep mom happy. It's a great thing when you live in the savannah, but when you live in a modern society, it's basically teaching a guy to be validation seeking and codependent towards women. Not good. Not good at all. On the same note, here's the female side of things. Dad is there to teach you how to get validation from people without offering sex in a positive fashion. It's like he said, if dad lets out a dad joke and you make fun of him for being corny, he stops giving you validation. He hurt his feelings. So girls realize, okay, I like dad's attention, so laughing at his jokes politely is a better way to get it. That's why dad jokes are a thing. A dad joke is literally symbolism for like a healthy respect for a girl's dad, if that makes sense. It doesn't have to be that. In Cholomite's example, it was like goofy t-shirts for Christmas party gifts and stuff like that. So it's interesting to kind of word it out that way. I know everybody says, yeah, daddy issue and mommy issues, but I mean, I don't think anybody understands what that means when you actually break it down into its constituent parts, you know? Anyways. On a personal note, I'll say this is the same thing too. So my father-in-law, same thing. Met him, hit it off instantly. Thought he's a cool guy. He's in his 70s now, so he's a lot older than me. But at first I'm like, kind of reminded me of my dad a little bit. He's got that like 70s swagger to him. Like the guy who just lived to party for the entire 70s, 80s, and 90s, and now he's retiring. You know, does what boomers do. Just suckle off the tax teat one last time. Whatever, I'm just joking. But yeah, turns out he used to be in the Navy and in his 20s as well. He was actually, so I was a communicator, and that was an amalgamation of two jobs, a radio operator and a signalman. A signalman's the guy you think of that does like bridge communications, flag hoists, semaphore, that sort of thing. You know, rules of the road, navigation. Radio operators were the guys that handled the equipment down below, and he used to be a rat op. But technically, he was like 10 years before Rat Up was a thing, so it was a different position at the time, but it's kind of funny. So like literally same trade, same element. The only difference is he got kicked out after 5 years for, I don't know, wasn't very good at being told what to do. I, on the other hand, was a perfect little sailor, at least until somebody didn't like me, and then it just disappeared, but whatever, that's a whole other story. So there was that, and then there was the brash way he kind of talked to his old lady, where it's like, you knew he loved her, but at the same time, he wasn't passive about that either. And he had no problems like being a little more boisterous, a bit crude, a bit rougher. Like, it's always funny if I can tell somebody to F off and they can actually giggle because they know it's like a friendly thing to do. But most people, when they say it, it seems very adversarial. I can't explain it. It's just a delivery thing. And he had that same thing I did. So we got along great. You know, I'd say that my girl is better than his girl, but whatever. I can't ask him to pick favorites. He'd probably pick mine anyway. But yeah, so it's something to think about. You probably won't notice this until you start meeting parents, but if you're in one of those relationships where it's been a few years and you finally start to meet dad and mom, I know a lot of guys say, just look at mom and you're going to see what she's going to age like. And I think, whatever. Take that, don't take that, sure. I think the more important thing is pay attention to her dad. I mean, her dad not being there will let you know that you're most likely going to have a lot more work ahead of you when it comes to being the oak. Does any girl truly think that her best friend looks better with a pixie cut or with 15 extra pounds or... You know what I mean? The oak is like able to lead her through things, that she can buffet you with all kinds of winds of her emotions. You just kind of like, you buckle. It's like a stable thing. You essentially have to like replace the role of her dad when she was 6 years old. But if she has a dad and her dad's around, see if you kind of like, because I've yet to see a guy who's with a girl that he really likes, they've been together for a long time, who doesn't like her dad. I'm sure there's examples, and if you're one of those guys in the chat who's like, she hates her dad treated her like crap and she loves me and it's been 20 years, feel free to let me know I'm an idiot in the chat. I'd love to hear about it, because this thing only works when you got a lot more information, more data points. I don't know. Yeah, fall in love with a girl when her dad's the kind of guy you'd fall in love with having a beer with, I guess. I think that's the only thing from it. But yeah. I guess I'll end on some negative stuff because it's me. I like to dunk on the trads. When he's sitting here talking about the sexually repressed women with countless anxiety disorders, it's absolutely true, by the way. And this is one of the main reasons I just take a shit over traditional conservative type men talking about saving the West and a healthy marriage is my negotiated desire shit. I'm like, you guys are not part of the solution. I don't care how many times you show me that drag queen story hour photo saying that they're trying to ruin your kids. I'm like, you ruined your kids just plenty. Ask any Gen X guy, and he will tell you some of the most fun sexual experiences he had was with Catholic girls who were raised to hate sex with a passion. Sex meant hell, which also meant those girls basically did anal on the first date and anything but sex. They were a lot of fun. Dated a few in my day. I think Muslim girls are kind of like that now too, at least talking to some of the guys in the private community. But just remember, all these authoritarian dads who likes rules and thinks sex is bad unless you're doing it to make babies, they have ruined so many women that I would argue a giant portion, at least in America, I don't know about the rest of the world because we're all pretty secular compared to America, but a large portion of guys that have sexual dysfunction within their relationships tend to come from devoutly religious backgrounds, or at least the wife does. And that's, I think I talked about this episode 1 where Jack was saying, you know, their priests, their friends, their dad, their mom all told them that sex is bad, sex is evil, you'll end up getting pregnancy, AIDS, and cancer, and you'll die unless it's within a marriage. And then they'll give, like, after 50 pages of fire and brimstone, you'll get like one paragraph saying, by the way, sex is pretty great within a relationship, even though you have no experience, no practice, and we've essentially gaslit you towards how bad it was. Like, is it any wonder these girls get into a relationship and then they're like, oh, by the way, I still don't like doing anything and I'm terrified of it. Like, there's a few guys in my community who have this situation, and like, unfortunately, the best they're able to get from them from the wives is like passive compliance. Like genuine desire is there because a girl wouldn't put the effort in otherwise, but you can tell it's really pushing the envelope on the trading validation for sex things. Like the girl is in desperate need to be the good girl, to be seen as like a good wife that keeps things together. But it's like working for Blockbuster. Like, you know, the company is going down. You know, nobody's renting videotapes anymore, but you still show up to work every day because, damn it, you just agree that VHS is on the way up soon. If you just hold out and do your job, everything will turn out all right. But then you go to work and some crackhead tries robbing you every damn time, and you're just like, why did I invent the worst metaphor ever for like sexually repressed conservative couples? I don't know. But I figure it's as good a point as any to end the episode on, so hope you guys enjoyed another Mids Watch. Go ahead, get some sleep, and if you just started your shift, go slay it. Have yourself another cup of coffee. I'll catch you guys on the next episode. Cheers.